Good day, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of AR Fitness and Athletics. I hope everybody enjoyed episode 10, where I took you to the gym and took you through one of my training days. As you can see, I choose to do a very high intensity in training, and that's why today I want to start with a reminder of what this program is about. It's not about me training at the gym at a high intensity. This program is about being physically active in whatever manner you choose to be. But we do need to be physically active. That's what it's all about. That's what we are designed for. That's what we said in episode number 1. The episode that we shot with the training is just to show you a style of training, a certain level of intensity, but by all means, don't feel like you're obligated to do that. Not at all. You can choose anything you want. Just be active. That is the most important part. Now, if you want to elevate your level of activity, then we can get into high resistance training and many other types of training styles. But really the main and the essential thing is to be active. And from there, we can choose whatever path we want. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode, so let's get to work. Today, I want to discuss sport-specific training. Now, here's a term that I think is misused or misrepresented. I don't want to be too negative about it. Most of the times when I see places or see trainers that promote sport-specific training, it's really not so specific. And this is what I mean. They use a lot of movements that essentially would be considered basic movements, but they call it sport-specific. I'm going to demonstrate. Now I'm going to demonstrate a few exercises that you might see at a volleyball training camp. Now I'm pretty sure everybody watching is saying, what's the difference? Well, there isn't, because those are basic movements that human beings perform. Now, sport-specific training doesn't become sport-specific until you apply the skill of that sport. So as you saw, side lunges could apply to a skating stride, a lunging stride for volleyball, a forward stride for soccer, or any other field sport. These are basic movements that we are meant to perform as human beings, not as an athlete, not as a firefighter, but basic human movements. So when you're in a training camp and they're showing you these things, and it's not takeaway, they're still great movements and they're still very helpful, but that's not sport specific. It's sport specific if, let's say, you're doing a side stride and you're bumping a ball, or you're doing your shoulder movements and you have a stick and you're taking a slap shot. Now it becomes sport specific. So setting up something like an obstacle course where you're cutting in and out of some pylons, maybe sprint 30 meters, drop, do push-ups, that can be applied to any sport. Those are movements, those are strengthening movements that will help everybody. And it doesn't have to be sport. This can even help you with your gardening, any back exercises, any squatting type exercises. These are strengthening exercises that will help you become more effective in movement, in any type of movement. So sport specific there is sport-specific training, but again, it would have to be the skill of that sport involved before it can be called sport-specific. Otherwise, really, it is basic movement, which again is good and is necessary. But don't be fooled into thinking that you're doing something that's so specific to that sport when really it's just basic movement. So I'm not saying don't take these training programs, but unless they're promoting the actual skill of that sport, don't be caught up with it being too sport specific. I haven't found a program yet or haven't seen training yet that involves those type of exercises that are sport specific, because again, they are a basic movement. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna show Adamo doing his stuff. He's gonna take you through one of his full body programs. Now, you're gonna see a big difference between what he is doing and what I did. Once again, what I did was very specific. It's a strength training program. The lifts that I compete in are the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. So when I do competitions in powerlifting, those are the three events. So when I train those movements. So my training is not necessarily to build more muscle. I'm training very specifically to be efficient in the squat, efficient in the bench press, efficient in the deadlift. And all the other exercises are supporting, we'll call them supporting exercise. They build strength, they support the muscles around the movements that I want to use. But very specifically, I do those movements first because that's when you have the most energy, and I want to become good at those particular movements: squat, bench press, and deadlift. And it's not that I don't have to pay attention to the other things that I'm doing. I absolutely do, but I'm not as focused as to how I execute them because again, those aren't the events that I compete in. If you are training for other sports, you want to definitely develop the skill of that sport. Strength training exercises will help you execute those things much more effectively. Be healthy, enjoy, and we'll see you next time.